What's poppin', what's tea? It's your girl Spicy Niche, and we are back for another week of Skinny Girl, Season 7, Episode 2. Now, in my last video, I did say I was going to be reviewing Skinny Girl every week, but I've decided not to, just because there've been so many, good movies coming out on Prime and Netflix that I haven't had time to get to, and Skinny Girl, to be honest, is not that interesting enough for me to feel like I have to review it every week. Maybe I'll do some combined episodes, like 2-3 episodes in one video, or maybe I'll just sporadically do the videos. I don't know how I want to do it yet, but yeah, I'm not going to be reviewing it every week, but every week there will be a video coming out on a new movie or some other television show. Now, with that being said, let's get right into it. So we ended off the last episode with Shalewa being proposed to by Muhammad. So in a sprint of confusion, she's like, oh my gosh, we haven't spoken, basically what I was saying, y'all haven't even talked in weeks, months at this point. So where is all of this coming from? So she steps away from him to go call her therapist. Her therapist doesn't answer. Then she calls Tiwa. Tiwa doesn't answer. And then her friend Tito calls her. And then finally she goes back to Muhammad, and they have a conversation about how they can basically make things work. He also mentions that this wasn't a proposal. This was a promise ring. Now, this particular sequence took roughly about 10 minutes of the episode, which I feel like was a waste of my time. I'm sorry. We didn't need 10 minutes of the 30 or 40-minute episode just dedicated to this sequence. The thing with the phone calls took 4 minutes. Why? The thing with her and Muhammad going back and forth took the other 4 minutes, and then the other 2 minutes was the actual conversation after the proposal. I'm like, why are you guys wasting time? This is what I'm talking about. They just keep dragging on these scenes unnecessarily. During this episode particularly, at some point I got up and walked away and was doing stuff in my kitchen because I'm like, this is boring. I can hear it in the background, but I was just like, oh my God, this is just mad boring. You took the first 10 minutes for us to go through this whole sequence, and I just don't feel like that was really necessary. This part for me was probably the highlight of the episode, honestly. So when we left off, Momitiwa was getting a brand deal for bleaching cream and waist trainer. So then after the whole Shalewa Muhammad thing, we go into a scene where Wozi is helping her put on this waist trainer, but this waist trainer doesn't fit. So Momitiwa tells her to go call Shalewa, and while Wozi and Shalewa are together, Shalewa helps Wozi dress like a Gen Z and gives her a wig and really just puts her together so she can be like a Gen Z when she goes back to school. So then, because AY told Wozi that Gen Zs have nose piercings, Wozi tries to pierce her nose with Shalewa's earring and ends up bleeding, and there was blood everywhere. And that was, I guess, the funny tidbit of the episode. Finally, after all that, we get to see Didi back on screen. I really miss her in that first episode. If you know me, I really love Bisola. I think she's a very strong actor. For me, she's top 5. But yeah, we see her and Editi. Her family's there, his family's there, and they're basically trying to discuss the wedding. Now, his side is basically saying, oh, we basically went broke planning his first wedding for his wife. And then her family's like, well, if you don't have the money, we can pay for it, but this is our daughter's first wedding, so we're gonna do it big. And there's basically that whole back and forth between the families, which I felt added an essence of relatability to the story, especially for this particular storyline where she's marrying someone who has already been married, already has 2 children. This is something that really does happen, and when you're really trying to blend families, even if you're not even blending families, that family that already has children from a previous relationship, but just in general, the whole essence of planning a wedding and both sides are having their own differences in what they want to do. After the exchange with the family members, she goes to Tiwa's house. Now, it wasn't only me, but I don't know, their relationship felt awkward. The whole scene didn't feel that authentic flair that Skinny Girl used to have. I don't know, and so, she's basically talking to Tiwa about, all the things that's going on with her, and even just saying, Didi says that she doesn't even want to, have kids, she just wants to have fun and enjoy herself, and, she don't even really know about the whole wedding aspect of things, which is crazy, because it seemed like she was somebody that really, wanted this, and now that she has it, she's like, I guess me and my man can live in 2 different houses, and we could just have fun with each other. And Tiwa just advises her and things like that. But like I said, I don't know, the chemistry just wasn't there the way that it used to be before. I don't know if something has happened between the two of them, but it really just felt dry. Like, I don't know, it was missing that flair that the two of them used to have. Moving on, Mommy Tiwa calls Wozie and AY and basically beats the Gen Z out of them. And then after that, we move on to Mide in his office. Now, Darren introduces him to somebody from like a partner company, and I see the way they're trying to move this storyline. The lady who is coming from the partner company basically is like flirting with Mide, and it seems like they're gonna explore that kind of storyline where he has this woman that's trying to come onto him moving forward. I guess we'll see that in the future episodes. Then we see Didi and Edity's daughter, Na, speaking about the wedding. And Edity asks Didi to move in with him. So they're taking like this big step. And, at first Didi was very hesitant. She's like, oh, what will my family say? But then the two of them discuss and basically say they want to do things their way, just based on how crazy their family is being. I did forget to mention that during the scene where Mommy Tiwa was beating up Wozie and AY, Tiwa did come over with the baby, and that's when she found out that Shalewa was going to therapy, for everything. And fast forward, now we're in the scene where she's basically telling Mide about the whole thing, and he's trying to like find out this Kwame guy, or he was like, I can't believe he even left Lagos without having his 2 legs broken. So you mean to tell me that this entire time, because now we're like probably 4 or 5 months post the situation, even maybe 6 months, Mide didn't know about it until this day? Like that, I feel like the situation is kind of stale. Like for y'all to be trying to like play this right now, like that was so 6 months ago. It was like, I understand, Tiwa not knowing that Shalewa was going to therapy, like that I can understand, but for you to come and tell me that, oh, this whole entire time, Tiwa just never told Mide about it, and now all of a sudden, 6 months after, she wants to say something about it. Okay. I mean, I guess. Anyways, we close this episode with Shalewa going to an event, some sort of event that Muhammad is having, and she gets to basically meet his whole family, meet his half sisters. I think his father had, I don't even remember how many, but I think it was like 3 or 4 wives. And Shalewa is concerned that like this is the type of family blend that I'm marrying into. Like, how does Muhammad feel about having just one wife? One thing that I will say is, I feel like over the years, Sharon Oja has really solidified herself as a very strong actor. But I don't know, I feel like she's been acting very lackluster in Skinny Girl. Like, I'm missing the vim. Like, I'm like, girl, like, ain't you been acting for how long? Like, why are you, like, the acting is just not it for me from her, especially in this episode, in this particular scene. It was actually pissing me off. I'm like, Sharon Oja, you can do better than this. You can do better than this. You've done better than this. Why are you acting so, like, it's throwing me off. It was throwing me off. Like, even the scene where she, like, met the sisters and she was like, I haven't meet everybody. I'm like, what are you doing? What is this? Like, in fact, I won't talk anything again. I won't say anything anymore. But yeah, like, basically the sisters didn't seem like they really accepted her, and which is understandable because they wanted him to marry somebody else, and then she's not Hausa, so she doesn't speak Hausa and all that. So, I mean, yeah, that was basically how, we closed the episode. Muhammad tried to introduce Shalewa to his father, and it looked like his father kind of brushed off the situation, like he didn't want to meet her, and that was how we kind of closed off. But that, in a nutshell, is episode 2 of Skinny Girl. And like, I'm just over it. Like, I'm really just over the entire series. I'm so sorry, y'all. Like, if y'all have been enjoying it, great for you, but I'm just over the entire series. I just feel like I would have rather them left it at where it was, because it left off at a good point. And I understand, like, I was one of the people that was like, when is it coming out? When is it coming out? When is it coming out? But now for it to come out, and I feel like they just gave us the bare minimum when they had 3 weeks to work, 3 years, excuse me, not even weeks, 3 years to work on this and really like give us their best and make this like the last season of Skinny Girl, like just like tie up all the loose ends and just make this a fire season, like go out with a bang. I feel like everything is so lackluster. Like, I'm so over it that I'm not going to be using my energy every week to review it. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, there's more interesting things on television or in film coming out right now, and Skinny Girl is just not it for me. Like, I just feel like everything that they did, like the writing was lazy, the acting feels lazy, a lot of things feel like they were forced. Then it's like they don't really have a storyline together, so they're drawing things out for like 10 minutes of a scene of like something that could have been cut down into like 5 minutes. Like, I'm over it. I'm so over it. Like, when is Men's Club coming back? Because at this point, they can keep their season of Skinny Girl. Like, I'm no longer interested, honestly. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Skinny Girl in Transit episode 2. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below, because this whole season feels dry. This whole season feels dry. I don't know. Everything about this season is lazy. Everything about this season is lazy. The acting, the writing, everything is lazy. And it's showing on the screen to where it's making me even lazy to watch it and more lazy to review it. Because it's like, what am I even watching here? But yeah, now that I've butchered Skinny Girl, don't beat me up in the comments. That's just my personal opinion. So sorry. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought down below. And I will see you next week. Probably not for Skinny Girl, but I will definitely see you next week.